Real Oviedo, a second division team on a miraculous journey to the Spanish Cup final. FC Barcelona, the current champions of Spain, looking to make it 2 out of 2, but to also add a Spanish domestic cup. Two teams on opposing ends of the footballing spectrum, but none of that means anything in a cup final. The stage is the Civitas Metropolitano, and at this point I think we should start paying rent at Leti or something, because this is the third time we play here, and it won't be the last. We actually have two games against Atleti later today in the quarterfinals of the Champions League. A very important game against Cadiz is sandwiched between the two Atleti games, as we are still fighting off the very same Atletico de Madrid in the league for the title. Now, just a quick note to those who may have not seen the community post I put out yesterday. Yes, I currently do not have access to a camera, but we will not stop. Yeah, we will bring the videos out at any cost. So a different style of video today, and I hope you guys still enjoy it. And if you do go on to enjoy it, please do drop a like on it, subscribe, and let me know your thoughts in the comments below. To kick things off today, the aforementioned cup final against Real Oviedo. They are rocking a flat 4-4-2. Not really something you expect in Spain, and the really outstanding player is Santi Cazorla. Yes, that Santi Cazorla, captaining the side, and from their perspective, he'll be looking to lift the trophy at the end of the game. It being a final, I just felt it was necessary to look at their tactical vision, because they actually beat Real Madrid in the quarterfinals to make it to the semi-finals, in which they beat Osasuna as well, so they've knocked out a few La Liga sides. Their tactical vision is counter-attack. Real Oviedo takes very few risks and keeps a solid defensive shape at all times. Sounds like they're going to sit back a bit and let us have the ball. Looking at their defensive style, organized and disciplined when out of possession, Real Oviedo tends to sit deep, waiting patiently for the right moment to pressure the attacking side, win the ball back and spring forward on the counter-attack. Their offense style. Real Oviedo are an excellent counter-attacking unit, winning the ball in their own final third before springing forwards with passes in behind opposition defenses. So nothing too surprising, they'll be sitting back, they'll let us have the ball, and seems like they are quite dangerous in transitions, so our defenders and our defensive midfielder really should look out for that. Now, looking at the selected team for this cup final, we've gone with our first choice back five to stay in goal: Balde, Araujo, Koundé, and Cancelo. They seem very dangerous on counter-attack, so we did not want to take any risks in that regard. In the midfield, however, you see a few rotations. Guido Rodriguez is the holding midfielder. He will have a very important task of cutting out the passing lanes in those transitions. We have Gavi and Gundogan just ahead of him, and we are actually playing the false 9 tactic today. It didn't quite work out against Atleti in the last episode, but we believe it'll work against Real Oviedo just simply because of how they'll be approaching the game. We also have rotations in the wide areas with Angel Alarcon starting on the left wing. He's been unbelievable in this competition, so we're showing faith in him. And Lamine Yamal starts on the right-hand side. He's also been class. And the early stages of this game went as expected. We had more of the ball. Joao Felix, once again being the false 9, was at the center of everything, tasked with opening up the space. All of our players were in their half, our defensive line almost in their final third as well. Joao Felix picking up the ball here, switching it from one side, switching it to another, finding Lamine Yamal and committing players there, finds the pocket of space, Joao Felix, and the finish is quite ridiculous. On the outside of his foot, Joao Felix, the man in form, gives Barcelona a lead with a filthy Trivela finish past the Real Oviedo goalkeeper. Now into the 19th minute, the trend was very much similar. Still moving the ball about. Nothing really too different here. A poor pass, however, there from Ilkay Gundogan, trying to find Alejandro Balde, who of course holds the width on our left-hand side, and a counter-attack was on. You see Balde here desperately gets back, but still getting on the wrong side of his man. Araujo tries to go outside to cover, and the spaces open up centrally, and Santi Cazorla, the danger man, the captain for Real Oviedo, in the 22nd minute equalizes and gives the underdogs, he gives the fairy tale a chance to live on. And we find ourselves in a sticky situation. After getting that equalizer, Real Oviedo began to grow in belief. They started to think they genuinely had a chance here today, and this could be an off day for Barcelona. A counter-attack is on here as Angel Alarcon collects the ball from Joao Felix, but he has not repaid the trust that we have shown in him. He's been very good in the other games leading up to the final, but today just not his day. Guido Rodriguez again very absent in the midfield. We put him in to make the interceptions to stop the counterattacks, but we're seeing Ilkay Gundogan having to drop back to recollect the ball. Joao Felix, as always, at the center of every attack we make, plays the ball to Gavi, recollects it, but this time his shot is blocked. And 39 minutes into the game, we had seen enough. Xavi and I were done with this whole experiment of trusting the second team, and we had to bring in the big boys. None bigger than Shrek himself, Oriol Romeu, into the midfield. Rafinha also on for Angel Alarcon. Sees Lamine Yamal move over to the left-hand side. We need to win this game. The substitutes make their way onto the field just before a corner after that blocked Joao Felix shot. A chance around 5 minutes or so from halftime from a set piece. Ilkay Gundogan's cross finds the head of Ronald Araujo, the big Uruguayan centre-back. Restores the lead for Barcelona just before the break. That was not the last action of the half though, as in the 45th minute we had a throw in just inside the Oviedo half, still looking to get forward and really mark our stamp on this game. Joao Felix, who's actually been unbelievable in this game, once again committing about 4 players around him, finding the space for Rafinha to take a shot. It's blocked, but for the first time in a long time, the luck goes the way of Barcelona. The ricochet falls right back to the Brazilian's left foot and he puts it in the net. He will make it 3 for Barcelona just before the halftime whistle. And at halftime, the Blaugrana lead by 3-1 against Real Oviedo. There was a period of about 15 to 20 minutes where we looked very, very nervous, very shaky, but we killed off the Oviedo momentum. The substitutes made an impact, and we are now in full control. The goal in the second half was to get the first goal. If Oviedo got it, then the fans would start to believe again, and the crowd would be on their side. But if we got it, then this game would be done. Again, not being reckless with the ball, being very measured, being very methodical as we build up forward. Here's Gavi finding Joao Felix in the center there. Joao Felix, again, the man looking to make the difference, forces the save out of the goalkeeper. Oviedo desperately trying to string passes together and get up the field, but our pressing was just too relentless. We just had a bit more energy for them, still pushing for that 4th goal, pushing for that 3-goal margin, but Real Oviedo continue to survive. About 25 minutes away from full time, they had to do something special to try to get back into this game, and they were starting to take a few more risks. You'll see them passing it around the back, trying to slowly get up the field and potentially get an attack going. In this instance, they play through our midfield. Again, not happy with how we were defending those central areas, but a good block there from Jules Koundé sees Joao Felix on the attack again. And all the skills were on show today from Joao, taking on everybody, plays it to Gavi and sets up yet another goal to make it 4-1. Gavi scoring, and surely the trophy coming to Barcelona. Leading 4-1, we believed it was time to make changes. Pretty confident that this game was done. We brought on Andreas Christensen for Alejandro Balde at left back, giving him a rest, and also bringing on Ferran Torres for the unplayable man of the moment, Joao Felix. With 7 minutes left on the clock, Real Oviedo were well and truly out on their feet. Andreas Christensen stepping into the midfield there and playing a beautiful ball out to Rafinha. Rafinha, good footwork from him to set up Gavi, but Gavi couldn't get his second goal of the game. You'll see us here winning every second ball, winning every 50-50, and Oviedo just not being able to match up and keep up with us. In a desperate attempt to maybe get a goal back in this game, they commit way too many bodies forward, and on the counter-attack, Rafinha just rips them apart to put it in the net for our 5th goal, to make it 5-1 in the Copa del Rey final, to make it a convincing victory. And I cannot help but feel sorry for Real Oviedo. They had their little moment, they had their little fairy tale, but welcome to reality! Yeah, FC Barcelona will be lifting the Copa del Rey trophy. We don't celebrate for too long though, as the hunt for our next trophy is already at the quarterfinal stages. Arsenal face Manchester City, Barcelona against Atletico de Madrid, Real Madrid against RB Leipzig, and Bayern Munich against Paris Saint-Germain. All good teams who will make it into the Final Four. At this point, nothing about Atleti's setup should shock us. We've played them 4 times. A 1-1 draw in the league, a 2-0 loss in the league, a 2-2 draw in the Super Cup where we won on penalties, and a 3-0 win in the Copa del Rey. This is the 5th game. We are at home. It is the first leg. They just beat us in the last game. They responded after we beat them in the previous game. Balls in our court. We are at home. Can we respond? And have we finally figured out a way to play against Diego Simeone? In the last game that we faced Atleti, we tried the false 9 tactic and it failed miserably. Joao Felix could not have the impact that we would have liked him to have. The Atleti defenders, knowing him inside out, would not let him anywhere near the football. So we're going with the big levy. Robert Lewandowski leads the line, arrested in that cup final for this game specifically. Joao Felix, being on form though, is still on the field, just over to the left-hand side. The defense and goalkeeper stays the same. Romeu starts in midfield. We have De Jong and Pedri back in, and Rafinha, who's also in quite hot form, starts on the right. Not the best start to this game, as in the 8th minute here, in a desperate attempt to stop this counter attack, Oriol Romeu, constantly tugging at the shirt of Rodrigo de Paul, sees himself already in the book. Only 9 minutes into the game, and our big ogre will have to walk the tightrope. 23 minutes now into the game, still no chances for either side. Pedri plays it down the line here to Rafinha, who opts to go infield to start the build-up again with Araujo to Balde, potentially looking for a 1-2 with Frankie de Jong, but Frankie de Jong gets dispossessed. Molina, a man that scored in the last game that we played them, plays the ball back there, but Jimenez loses it, and Joao Felix potentially looking to finally make an impact against his parent club. But once again, they don't want him anywhere near the ball. 8 minutes from the interval here, you'll see Atleti just passing the ball around their back line, waiting for the spaces to open up to progress the ball forward. We just have those central areas currently clogged up, but despite that, they still find a way, because they do have that quality. Rodrigo de Paul Romeu sliding in. I'm not too sure how I felt about that, but the Pole still gets his shot away, and Atleti get their first chance, and ter Stegen makes his first save. 2 minutes from halftime, and that Rodrigo the Pole chance was probably the best chance of the half so far. Atleti are always very aggressive, they are always very intense in midfield, and they make it incredibly difficult to play through, so we've had to really be creative here. But here is Rafinha potentially with the chance in stoppage time, and there's Lewandowski finally getting involved in the game, but there is Jan Oblak as well making a save. Gavi pondering with Andreas Christensen. I don't know what you're planning on doing with him, mate. We need a goal! But perhaps from this corner, the final play of the half, it is De Jong's cross, but no, it is Jan Oblak coming out, claiming the cross. It's halftime in what I can only describe as a very tactical game. Two teams that clearly know each other inside out, two teams that have played each other so many times this season, and two teams that are very cautious in their approach. They both want to win the game, they also don't want to get caught out. Atleti really stepped up the intensity in the second half. You'll see how many players they have in our own box, pressing ter Stegen, and ter Stegen just brings unnecessary stress to my life. Yeah, but we survive that time, and we potentially have a chance to get forward. Again, this is the football we played Barcelona. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. High risk, high reward, but potentially a reward here as we play through the Atleti press. And now, Joao Felix once again looking to inject something in the attack, but he once again is not having a good game. But there is Shrek, despite being on a yellow card, still having a good game. Joao Felix, terrible decision to try to take a shot on from there. But Pedri also, terrible decision to try to dribble at his man. The ball gets turned over quite a lot here. Both teams now looking to really go for the game. Both teams being very aggressive as well. But can anybody get a goal in this game? Now down our left hand side, but there's Alejandro Balde. Speaking of intensity, speaking of aggression, what a tackle that is. And the man has actually stayed down there thinking about his life decisions to try to go with Alejandro Balde. Yeah, Shrek to Lewandowski. Lewandowski seeing the run of Rafinha. The game really open right now. Chances really going either way, but nobody even able to take a shot. I have to give credit to the two defenses. There have been a lot of last-ditch blocks, last-ditch tackles, last-ditch interceptions as well. But a chance here for Lewandowski. He had to take that very early. A game where you don't have much space, but Oblak makes the save. As Diego Simeone makes a change here, taking off Angel Correa for Memphis Depay, of course a former Barcelona player as well. We think of making a change ourselves. 20 minutes left on the clock. Oriol Romeu has been fantastic, but still on a yellow card. With the game being very open and a lot of transitions happening, we don't want to risk him getting sent off. So Guido Rodriguez is on. Gavi's also on for Joao Felix, who has once again had a very underwhelming game against Atleti. With 20 minutes left on the clock, can a set piece be the difference in this game? And it is Robert Lewandowski with a fantastic leap and a fantastic header to find the back of the net. Poor goalkeeping by Jan Oblak, but we do not care. We lead against Atleti. Not too long after that opening goal, we are once again in possession of the football. But this time a bit more careful as Frankie de Jong spreads the ball out wide there to Pedri. Pedri plays it down the line to Rafinha, and Rafinha will get around his man to break into the box and set up a very good chance for Gavi to potentially get our second, but he doesn't. Now into the final 5 minutes, still the difference being that one goal from a corner. Can we make it a 2-goal difference? Can we get the second and really set ourselves nice for that second leg? Rafinha, once again, who's been very dangerous, tried to play in Joao Cancelo. Cancelo was offside, so he let that run, but the press is once again on, finding Atleti in a very vulnerable situation, but Joao Cancelo cannot quite make the most of that opportunity. A header on here by Frankie de Jong, but once again, the Atleti defense standing strong. The final shot there from Pedri is wide. In the 91st minute, a careless pass from Thomas Lemar sees Rafinha with the interception and breakthrough. That Atleti defends, but Jan Oblak saves Atleti and will ensure that it's only a 1-goal difference heading into the second leg at the Metropolitano. But this game is not done by any stretch of the imagination. The top two in Spain are showing why they are the top two, with a very intense, a very tactical, close-fought battle where the only difference in the end was a headed goal from a corner. Looking at the other results in the Champions League, Manchester City and Arsenal are tying 1-1. We are beating Atleti 1-0, of course. Madrid are currently in the lead against Leipzig, and Bayern and PSG again tied at 1-1. So all of these ties are alive. All of these teams showing that they are quality. Back in the league, 30 games played, and we are still in contention with Atleti. They sit top, 1 point ahead of us. They face Girona. This is the team that we'll be simming this game with. We have Alonso, Araujo, Christensen, Roberto at the back, Guido, Gundogan and Gavi in midfield, Joao Felix, Torres and Lamine Yamal as the front three. We're going to quick sim this game with some few rotations for that big Atleti game coming up, but we still must win, and we just about get the 3 points with an unexpected goal scorer. Andreas Christensen in the 55th minute gives us the full 3 points, and we're in that period of the season where we need big moments from unexpected players. Unfortunately for us, Atleti beat Girona 3-0 and they stay at the top. 7 games left in La Liga, 1 point behind Atleti. We now prepare to face Atletico de Madrid for the 6th time this season. Yes, 6th time, and we are only leading by 1-0. This is the team we have selected. Only one change in this lineup from the first leg. We see Gavi coming in for Joao Felix. Yes, Joao is dropped to the bench, and Gavi really comes in for more control. He seems to be much more safer in possession, doesn't lose the ball as much, and we're going to need a player like that in the front three if we want to maintain attacks, if we want to continuously recycle the ball, and if we really want to take control of this game. Will it work? Let's find out.
Este partido ha generado una gran expectación entre las aficiones que se encuentran animadas y listas para disfrutar de un gran espectáculo. Un espectáculo arropado por las especulaciones, opiniones, conjeturas y análisis de medio mundo. Estoy convencido de que muchos teléfonos se han quedado sin batería hablando y leyendo sobre él. Y por supuesto en el campo también se nota las ganas. Atentos a eafc porque vamos a tener fútbol de muchos quilates.
We are at the Civitas Metropolitano for the 4th time this season, and we need a result to make it into the final 4 of the Champions League. First chance here from a corner, crossed into the near post there, headed on by Rafinha, but he cannot take his chance. 18 minutes now into the game, you'll see the very aggressive Atleti press, but having a man like Frankie de Jong is so useful because this guy is incredibly press resistant. Joao Cancelo there plays the ball to Rafinha. Rafinha links up with Pedri and back to Frankie de Jong, moving the ball brilliantly, and this is where Gavi is very useful, maintaining those attacks, finding other players, and very safe with the ball. Rarely ever loses at Gavi. Back to Frankie de Jong, and now we have Atleti pinned back, having them defending and just about picking them off. And there's Rafinha. Lewandowski, Rafinha and Frankie de Jong standing over this ball. The first goal in this will be crucial. Who will take it on? It is going to be Rafinha, and it's off the post onto the keeper, but not into the net. How lucky can Jan Oblak be? Is it luck? Is it incredible reflexes? We don't know, but we don't have the goal. At corner now. Gonna be put in towards the near post and flicked on, but the shot is saved. A slightly unorthodox corner routine there from Frankie de Jong in Barcelona, but another chance here, and Jan Oblak is helping Atleti hang on in this tie. Very good sliding tackle again from Gavi, another side of his game that is so useful, but Lewandowski really in that situation should score. Pressure on Atleti. Barcelona keep pushing, looking for the second in this tie, and Rafinha finds the space and most importantly buries the chance, finds the first goal of the night, the second goal on aggregate. Barcelona lead by 2-0 in the tie with a fantastic finish from Rafinha. Jan Oblak, I don't even blame him just watching it into his net. He's been desperately trying to keep them in it, but he couldn't save that one. As we approach halftime, you have to be honest, I'm very disappointed with how Atleti have approached this game. They have not made it even slightly competitive, and we have been in complete control and comfortable. The scoreline may not reflect that, but they have not troubled us even slightly, especially considering they are at home. Yeah, not great from the Rojiblancos, and you'll see we're winning every second ball in this game. We're looking dangerous every time we get forward. We have them pinned back so much, and everybody is having a fantastic game. I guess that slight tactical change that we made really caught Atleti off guard here. And with the last chance of the half being a set piece from quite a while away, headed away by Araujo, that's going to be halftime, and that's us leading 2-0 on aggregate. If they don't get a goal soon in this game, then we will definitely be in the final four of the Champions League. Things change very quickly in football, and although we were untroubled and comfortable in that first half, we shouldn't let it be an excuse for us to now take the foot off the gas. But we look to continue to push here as Alejandro Balde collects the ball in a very dangerous area and puts in a very good cross, deflected off the defender, and it could have gone anywhere. Some luck there for Atleti, but a corner. We scored with it in the first leg. Can we score with it in the second? Not quite. It's headed away, but collected by Gavi, and a wild strike from the young Spaniard. Almost makes it 2 on the night. Just puts it wide, and Atleti survive for now. We're closing into the final 30 minutes of this game, and Jan Oblak chooses to go long there with the goal kick, trying to be a bit more direct, but Alejandro Balde wins that header, collected by Frankie de Jong. And here is Pedri once again looking very composed with possession, but still looking very dangerous. Good one-touch play there, and Frankie de Jong plays it to our right back, João Cancelo, breaking into the box, and a fantastic finish from the Portuguese to make it 3-0 on aggregate, 2-0 on the night. With 30 minutes left in this quarterfinal tie, we may have finally finished off Atleti. This may be it. Atleti may be on their way out of the Champions League. That is full time. A 2-0 win at the Civitas Metropolitano means Barcelona beat Atleti 3-0 on aggregate. Xavi very happy, the Atleti fans and players very dejected, but we move on to the final four. Looking at the other results here, Manchester City beat Arsenal 2-1 to make it 3-2 on aggregate to make it through there. We were by far the most dominant side in this set of fixtures. Leipzig actually turned it around to beat Real Madrid 2-0 in Germany to go through 3-2 on aggregate. And Paris Saint-Germain lose at home to Bayern Munich, so Bayern are through to the semis as well. But this is probably as tough as it gets. Pep Guardiola's Manchester City, the current holders of the Champions League, in the semi-finals. The other semi-final tie, season all-German affair as RB Leipzig face Bayern Munich. I mean, I'm not too sure what's going on in the Bundesliga, but you'd expect Bayern to make it to the final. But before we even dream of a final, we have the small task of beating Manchester City over 2 legs to make it there. Amidst all the drama of the Champions League and the drama against Atletico de Madrid, we have forgotten about the white side of the city. The Los Blancos themselves having a very poor season. You saw they just got knocked out of the Champions League quarterfinals by RB Leipzig. They currently sit third in the La Liga table and looking like a trophyless season for the Merengues. We faced them, however, in the El Clásico away at the Santiago Bernabeu. Soon after that, we have Valencia at home, a tough game in the league. And heading into May, the first leg of that Champions League semi-final is at home to Manchester City. And finally, Girona away in the next episode. 4 very, very tough games coming up, and that will determine our season. Can we make it to the Champions League final? Can we claw back points on Atleti? Or will we end the season with just the 2 domestic cups? Let me know what you think in the comments as always, and let me know your thoughts specifically on this style of video. Like I've mentioned, I currently don't have access to a camera. I'm not too sure how long that's going to be, but we still have the content coming. Yeah, so make sure you are subscribed and hit that bell notification not to miss a thing. I've been Quickie Crusher. I'll see you guys next time.